Hello, everyone. Going to go through crypto markets after what happened yesterday, right? In case you aren't aware, Bitcoin went below 30,000 for the first time in quite some time. I mean, we almost got down to 30,000 a few weeks ago, or sorry, below 30,000. But yesterday we finally broke it, though we have seen now a pretty strong rebound from that. We got as low as, yeah, about $28,500 on the Bitcoin chart. And I just want to, go through the market right now, kind of give my thoughts on certain things, um, just discuss what I'm kind of looking for next, key support levels that we want to be looking out for, um, how I feel about the rebound, anything that we can learn from what happened, all of these types of things. Okay, so let's go through that right now. So Um, first of all, I think in terms of, let's start talking about Bitcoin and just the overall cryptocurrency market as a whole. So especially if we start going into the total market cap, I mean, now we've obviously seen a bit of a rebound, but yeah, have really got close yesterday to that $1 trillion number, and then we really saw a bounce off of that, as support. So in a sense, that's pretty positive. Though I think we have to also just be a little bit realistic with ourselves. You know, um, I think at this point, it's hard to not call this a bear market. At least that's just my personal opinion. And that doesn't mean like we're going to like $5,000 or something like that for per Bitcoin or something. But what I just mean more is just that, obviously we're in a downtrend and it just is what it is. And I've been mentioning this $1 trillion level before, and we saw a strong bounce, but again, we have to really see if like how we're going to close today. Okay, I think this is the one big thing, or like one of the key lessons I think we need to learn. Okay, and I'm not necessarily a beginner when it comes to crypto, but when the markets are like this, it's humbling for everyone because when price is going down and you were such a crypto bull at one point, a few months ago. I mean, everybody was talking a lot of shit, it just is what it is. So, um, especially in times of like when price is going significantly down, I mean, we're basically looking at almost a 60% correction in Bitcoin, I believe, if not further. I'll check that. Actually, let's just look at that now. Let's see, how much of a drop have we had on Bitcoin so far? I mean, from the peak till the trough, 56%. We've seen a 56% correction so far. Um, I think, especially during these times when you're seeing, you're going through you have your money in a market which just experienced a 56% correction. Um, Instead of just getting pissed off and frustrated with yourself and also like not doing things like FOMO in, okay, like but being patient, I think the really important thing is to just take it on the ass, be a little bit humble, and try and learn some key lessons from this. Because again, it's really when price goes down like this that you actually make the most money in the long run. Okay, so learn your lessons, make smart entries back into the market. Right, we're still bullish on crypto overall, so just make smart entries and just take it on the chin. And I think one key lesson that I really want to emphasize for beginners in crypto in particular is that you know you have to really think long term about these things. And what I mean by that is don't just listen to every dork on the internet that's just saying buy the dips, buy the dips, buy the dips. Yeah, buy the dips are fine, of course, when you're in a bull run, right? And then everybody looks like a genius. But don't die by your bias. Don't die by your thought that, yeah, this is just going to go up forever. And every previous time that I bought the dip, that it's going to continue going, and that buying the dip works because sooner or later, as you can see here, if you bought the dip, if you bought the dip, I mean, if you didn't use a stop loss, you're definitely down, right? If you trade it on margin, you could potentially be fucked. Don't trade crypto on margin, guys. But anyway, but my point is just that sometimes it's really important as a beginner to really, 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 really be patient zoom out on the chart, see what we're see what we're looking at overall, understand that this type of move typically doesn't mean that we're just going to start going back up. Okay, like that's just the reality of things, and sometimes we really just need to be humble, respect, and just respect that the market is what's going to dictate price. Okay, and not our thoughts and our biases that are going to start dictating price. So anyway, so I think as you can see here, yeah, we got that strong bounce off the $1 trillion level, but we really need to see how we're going to close today. Okay. Um, the volume is definitely was definitely a little bit higher the last 2 days. Obviously, we're at that massive sell side volume, and then now we've had a bit of a rebound today. But let's remember, guys, as well, people have buy limits set up. So if you're a total beginner as well, you need to understand that people set up positions on these at these key support levels, support and resistance levels. And obviously when price starts shooting down and there was too much, let's say, sell pressure instead of buy pressure at the time, that's what causes these kind of essentially dumps in the market, where you get this kind of cascading. If we go to the hour chart, that's what causes these kind of cascading effects like this, right, on the charts. So that's why I'm saying you just need to be patient. Don't sell when it's just starting to cascade like that. At the same time, don't just buy when we get like a small rebound like this. We really need to see how we're going to close today and see what type of patterns are forming on the chart. And just see more than anything, right? Ultimately, what a market is a place where, buyers are buying things from sellers, right? And so forth. We need to see if there's more buy side pressure or more sell side pressure. Is there more demand to buy or is there more demand to sell? And we need to really see how we close today in order to determine if we're going to go further. Because at this very moment in time, and obviously it's still very early in the day and America isn't even awake. Sorry about my cat, but America isn't even awake. Um, I mean, at the moment, it doesn't look particularly positive, right? I think what we really want to see is in the next few days, like, are we going to basically set kind of like a lower, right? So we had a high here and then a lower high and another lower high. And we want to see, are we going to kind of get that pressure that's going to go down and continue to put pressure on this $1 trillion support line? Because if that continues to happen and we're kind of getting these lower highs all the time, obviously sooner or later, that means that the sell side pressure is higher and we're going to probably break through this floor. Yeah. So if we actually do break through this floor, what is kind of the next key level that I'm really looking for? It's highlighted right on this line, okay? It is the previous all-time high in terms of crypto market cap right here, right? So at about, sorry, let me move this here. So at about 762, you can actually draw another box here. Let's get this box here. So that would kind of be the next key support level that I'm looking for. I still personally think that if we get back down to this level of 762, but we make it very strong support, that could actually be a very, very, very bullish signal. We could start seeing, are we going to see some sort of bullish reversal patterns there? Strong buy side candles, right, on day charts, a potential inverse head and shoulders pattern, something like that. Just see, are we going to get that kind of higher low situation once we hit this level here? I still think if that happens, then overall, like, I could see then like a kind of reversal and then potential continuation, right? That's a lot of YouTubers have been talking about. But again, am I expecting that? No, because I'm just going to really wait to see what the market is going to say. That's really the only thing you can do. If you start trying to make all of these predictions and then playing the market like that, that's how you're going to kind of lose, and that's more like how you end up gambling your money. Okay. Let's quickly also take a look at the dominance chart. So in terms of the dominance chart, it's looking exactly like how I was kind of expecting, honestly. We are getting a lot closer now to that 50% level. And we have to really see how the next few days plays out. Is Bitcoin going to go again below 30,000, or is it actually going to manage to try and find some support? Um, But either way, I expect this to definitely get past 50, maybe even go a bit higher, just because of how many more altcoin projects there are, how much more overvalued altcoins were in this market cycle. I mean, all of these different things. Um, Definitely, this is just a first stage of, potential support, or let's say resistance rather, on the dominance chart. I could definitely see a situation where it goes much higher. Let's see if we take a quick look at the chart. Sorry, my computer's a little, or trading view is a little bit slow right now. Yeah, so there you can see there. I would say the next kind of level that we also want to then look at is maybe around the 53 to 55% level. But anyway, which actually also happens to coincide with the 200-day. But anyway, let's see first what kind of movement or price action we get, or just general action we get, I guess, on the dominance chart, and then we kind of take it from there. Okay, but I'm still definitely eyeing this level, and still definitely, if it's not clear already, still not looking at alts in terms of putting in money right now whatsoever. So now let's just quickly go into the Bitcoin chart. Don't want to make this video too long. I know I really tend to ramble like a jackass sometimes. So at least this is what I'm personally seeing on the Bitcoin chart here. We did get that strong bounce here, which actually coincided pretty much with the wicks on this previous run up here, right, at 28,000. I think one area that a lot of people, for some reason, are just like not talking about is obviously more this 34,000 support level as well, or what was the support level before. I really want to see if we can, at the very least, close above this and then kind of make this support and then go back up here to see if we're going to continue this like overall sideways channel that we've been forming. Sorry, it shouldn't be red, but you get the idea. To see if price is going to really continue overall in this sideways channel here. However, it would really not surprise me as well if we actually end up making this 34,000 level resistance, which is like a very, very common price action pattern, and then kind of putting more pressure on the 30,000 level and then consequently breaking lower again. I feel like that's probably the more likely outcome. But again, it really depends on how we close over the next couple of days, see where price stays. But yeah, that move yesterday was definitely not positive, so I could definitely see something like that and then continue back further down. Okay. Um, Again, patience right now with Bitcoin, I think, is very, very important. Um, just let the market kind of finally make a decision, because this kind of middling zone right now, at least for me, is not some place where you're going to either make much money, and maybe not necessarily lose that much money, but it's just like the risk to reward putting your money here for me in this kind of price range is not there for me. Okay, if you're trying to day trade, it's one thing, but if we're trying to like accumulate, I don't personally think so. Now, last quick thing is to go into Ethereum, and which I think obviously, especially over the last coming months, has really proven to be kind of like a driving force for the altcoin market. And again, it doesn't look particularly great. Um, I think just like with Bitcoin, we broke back down below 2000 for the first time in, actually we got down past 2000 before, but we didn't really close nearly as, or we didn't rebound nearly as well as we did previously, as you can see here, which is definitely not a good sign. Again, just kind of shows the weakness on the buy side, right? So what am I kind of looking for here now? Every time that we kind of got that initial bounce here, we went back up to about 2.8, right? We did this. We've actually made 2.5 support, or 2.4 to 2.5 price range, and therefore bounce back up, right? Same with over here. However, let me remove some of these drawings. However, now we've broken pretty strongly past that. I want to see, one, are we going to get some price action which is going to make us stay in this kind of sideways channel that we've kind of formed here and here, right? This kind of sideways channel. Are we going to see some price action where yeah, price goes down, back up to 2.5. We get that bounce off 2,000 and then maybe do something like this. So we continue staying sideways. Or are we really going to make 2.5 or 2,000 like much stronger resistance and kind of continue that downwards price action? So something like more like this. Either we do this and then continue down or whatever. Okay. Again, just given the momentum of the market right now, I feel like that's more likely, especially with altcoins. Um, there's obviously less risk taking in the market at the moment, just given where we are at the moment. So especially with altcoins, I would probably lean to the side that we're going to see kind of more of that like previous support, now resistance kind of thing. Markets tend to move in that kind of step down kind of pattern. And when you get those step down kind of patterns, it's a very, very strong confirmation that that trend is really going to continue, right? It's almost like a stronger trend than if you just get that straight, you know, down and up kind of thing, right? Because that just shows you that the market, like buyers and sellers are both really strong. When you get that kind of step down thing, it just shows you that the overall momentum for the sell side is much stronger than the buy side. So that's really what we want to look for. And I think this kind of price action is you could really go to any, um, let's look at DOT. Yeah, you can really go to any kind of altcoin right now and pretty much chart out a very similar price situation, right? So again, with altcoins, be patient, guys. Really be patient, guys, okay? Don't freak out. That's really, really important. I would personally try and avoid the news because one thing that you'll realize, especially when price is very bearish, um, somehow it seems like all of a sudden all the fucking shit news comes out all at the same time, right? And that's, I think, really not kind of a coincidence. I mean, obviously, it's just how, like a lot of these financial media sources, they want to try and do that because they're kind of just pushing the trend or going with the trend and all these types of things, right? Because ultimately what they want is views and clicks and all that kind of stuff. I would just avoid that. I'm, at least from what I've really seen in terms of crypto, like news doesn't affect this market nearly as much as some other markets, right? Um, yes, it can certainly affect it, but I think this is just much more of a market where we have this crazy new technology, and ultimately you're just going to get these peaks and troughs with the natural peaks and troughs with the market as people start getting more interest into it and start learning more about it and all these different things and technological advancements happen. It's not so much news based, like let's say the currency market or whatever. So just avoid the news. Don't freak out with any of the China FUD crap, etc. And just be patient and be smart and just look at the market and just try and make your decisions also based off what the market is kind of telling you. But ultimately, if you're a long-term believer, and you should be if you're putting any money into the crypto market, then you you should know deep down logically that eventually the markets will recover and we're going to continue uh, or there's eventually going to be some bullish price action. Okay. Anyways, that's kind of everything that I think I really wanted to cover for the crypto market update. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I'll answer. I'm happy to talk about anything. I'll do a video on gold later because gold is also pretty interesting at the moment. And yeah, please give this video a like if you like the analysis. Cheers.